Welcome to the Dish Live on the Scene. I'm your host today, Germ So True, and we got a bunch of stuff to talk about in a short amount of time. Not really, but y'all know how this is. Usual suspects here today on the live with me. We got the baseball guru himself, Jorge. We got the finally I got it over the hump Dodgers fan, Tyrell Love with me. Hey man, it just is what it is. We'll get ready to go ahead and go at this thing. Fellas, but before we start, how has the off season been treating y'all? Tyrell, I'm actually gonna start with you, man.
All right. Well, I'm still in championship mode. I still got champagne flowing somewhere. Um, got my gear on, obviously. And while we have lost some pieces, a pitcher here or there too, Kike Hernandez just got picked up from the Red Sox. I'm not worried. I'm not tripping. We still can make a move for a big free agent signing if we wanted to. So we have that flexibility. We still have a great farm system. I have no fear of maybe losing Turner because he's a little bit older, but I would like him to stay. But we have a lot of cards we can play, and it's good to be the champs, and it's good to have options. So champs plus options. I'm living my best life right now.
Jorge, man, how are you, man? You all right?
Yeah, man, I'm all right. Just hearing Ty, just talk about his Dodgers. Hey, first of all, man, I want to say congrats. I wasn't able to say it after the off season, but look, you look like you've been in hibernation this whole time. Like you just woke up from your World Series, man. So get over it. It's a short season. Let's put an asterisk next to that. Whatever we got to do, let's move on. Come on.
So with that being said, man, look, man, baseball is one of those times where we have a little bit of a layover. Then it heats up a little bit because obviously baseball runs into the time where other sports like football, basketball start and go into it, whatever. So we have a lot of stuff to cover here for you guys, but we're gonna condense it actually, and we're gonna make it fun. But first, before we do that, we want to do a shout out and a quick tribute to the late great Hank Aaron who passed away. Um, I mean, condolences and all those different things we want to send out to the family and all that stuff, of course. But the bigger thing is let's talk about it on the light side. And the light side of things is let's just talk about, what he meant to the game, how important he was, and let's talk about him on a positive note. Let's celebrate rather than, bringing it down, with sadness. So I'm gonna actually start with you, Jorge. The late great Hank Aaron, some memories, anything you pretty much want to add, and we can go from there.
Yeah, I mean, I really didn't watch him play because I'm not old enough. But I've heard stories, mostly from my pops. But it, he meant a lot to the game, man. He was not only one of the best ever to do it, just a great all around person. And you would even what he said while he was playing the game. He doesn't want to be remembered for being the home run king or having so many RBIs, this or that. He just wanted that to be a piece of him. He wanted He wanted to be remembered, for what he did off the diamond. You don't hear a lot of superstars say that. And that's in the age that he played for him to think like that. That's few and far between, and just how big of a star was Babe Ruth, and for Hank Aaron to pass him with home runs in the late 70s, that's huge. And we all see the highlight where he hit his 715th home run. He was rounding the bases. And not only did fans go out to greet him and hug him, but every single base he went around, all the players on the field, which were Dodger players, were giving him high fives because they genuinely liked the guy, genuinely liked him. He was a all around good dude, and he played his last year in '76, and his record stood up to 2007 where Barry Bonds, broke it. 31 years, and he probably could have hit more home runs if he kept playing, but you know, Father Time, did what it does, and unfortunately now he's gone, and we have highlights to remember him by and what he's done. And he was just an all-around great guy, and you hear a lot of stories about him.
Tyrell, what about you?
Just to piggyback of what Jorge said, I'm glad that Vin Scully got to make the call. I've seen that clip many times, and it's hard not to just celebrate this man who, and this athlete who did something great in his sport, but just with the grace and humility he had, and the love he had for the game, and the love that other players and society eventually developed for him. Hammer and Hank, didn't need to be flashy, didn't need to be, flamboyant, but he just went on the field and was great. And then off the, field, he was even greater. One of my favorite things that I discovered about him was that I watched the documentary about Clarence Avant, the Black Godfather, who was responsible for a lot of side deals in the entertainment industry. He actually thought it was crazy that Hank Aaron wasn't getting a lot of endorsements. So right before he hits 715 and breaks Babe Ruth's record, he actually went to Coca-Cola, and from what I hear, legendarily went into Coca-Cola's office, was like, "Hey, N-words drink Coke too. Get this man a deal," and got him huge endorsements that helped put Hank Aaron in a place where not only did he do a lot for people all over the country, but he was able to be a big player in his community. So the reason why he was able to be a philanthropist and be active amongst politicians and have a lot of influence in Atlanta was because of Clarence Avant standing up for him and kind of navigating him to, hey, you're great at what you do. You should be getting paid what you're worth, and you should be getting major endorsements and deals. So he is like sort of the pioneer for the modern day athlete, in the sense that he was one of the first to get really huge deals for just being great. And you spend 21 seasons being that consistent, hitting as many home runs as he did, but also the hits, how he performed in the postseason. He was just consistent across the board, the greatest hitter arguably of all time. So with his passing, I love the tributes. I love that, we got to know that not only was he a great athlete, but a great person off the field, and he cared. Like, he got the COVID vaccine as well, trying to encourage minorities to believe, in healthcare, the healthcare system. Like, that's a diamond in the rough. And Hank Aaron, you will be missed. You're a legend in my book. We love you. I love you, just for being who you are.
So, well said, fellas. As I said, condolences goes out to his family, because obviously they lost a great person, a great role model, and all those other things. So, really want to take a shout out there from the scene here. But moving forward, as we go into baseball here, just want to take a second and recognize the late great Hank Aaron. So now we get to go to the part where we can have a little fun with this and talk about some things. We got the Jorge Mets. The Mets ain't never gonna be Jorge's. And then we got the tie through Dodgers all on the line today. So we're gonna have some fun today. I mean, I know that Jorge is gonna call me the not it Stros or whatever the case is. It's okay. It's all right. I'm ready. But at the end of the day, let's talk about some winners and some losers. I want to start with you guys as number one winner. And even if you guys agree, oh well. But who is the number one winner so far? And Jorge, I'm going to start with you. Number one winner for this offseason going into the new season.
Well, I got one on both the AL and NL, but I'll start with the NL just so we get it out the way. I got to go with the Padres, man. Padres, they've made some moves, and it's crazy to say, even though with the moves they made, they may not be the best team in their division, which is insane, because generally when you do this, you are the team to beat. And right now, they're not. They're in the division with the best team in baseball. And Ty, that hurt to say that, but it's the truth. It is what it is. Like we always say, film over feelings, and that's what it is. They're the champs for a reason. So the Padres, man, before the year ended, they added 3 key players and 2 starting pitchers that they needed. One was Snell from Tampa Bay. I mean, we saw what he did against LA. If he didn't get pulled that game, Tampa Bay may be the champs. Who knows? But we'll discuss that later at another day, whatever. But Blake Snell, that's definitely now their number one. And not only did they add him via trade, they also got Darvish from the Cubs. And Darvish was huge for the Cubs last year, by far their best pitcher. And he now is a number 2 where he can be a number 1 on any other team. And then they went to sign Ha Seong Kim from Japan, which is a utility infielder which can play third, short, and second. But more than likely with their infield, he's going to play second or come off the bench, which is huge for them. That gives them depth. And not only that, they didn't lose anybody in the offseason. All their 8 position players are still there. So we're talking about a team that's used to playing with each other, and they add 3 key pieces. That's huge.
Ty, no, actually, give me your AL winner, and then we'll go to Ty and see if he has 2 for us.
Oh, my AL winner is the Sox, man, the White Sox. We talked it last year before the season even started. They're young, they're a good team, and now let's start at the top. They made the move to get a proven winner with Tony La Russa. Maybe, he has his issues off the field, out not in the clubhouse, but in the clubhouse and on the diamond, he's won championships. He's proven it. He's done it before. And what has this White Sox team not done in a long time? Won a championship. So you bring in a manager that has those credentials. What are you telling everybody? We want to win now. And they got him, and they went out to sign probably the best closer in the market and Liam Hendricks. Last year, Liam was basically lights out for the A's. He went 2-1 with 1.78 ERA in 24 games and 14 saves. And how many games did they play last year, Ty? 60?
Yes.
All right. That's about a fourth of the games he saved for the A's last year. And then before adding Hendricks, they added Lance Lynn, which in 2019, Lance Lynn, for a sorry-ass Texas team, he went 16-11 with a 3.67 ERA. So can you imagine how many more games he's going to win with the White Sox lineup? So they're by far the AL winner.
AL and NL winners tie through.
It's rare, but when Jorge and I can come together and agree on something, it's a beautiful thing. And at the end of the day, we know baseball. So yes, while his beloved Mets did make a lot of moves, you cannot argue for the Padres going big this offseason. Legitimately, I'm scared, a little worried, but I will say history is on the Dodgers side because the Padres have gone big in the offseason before. You may remember when they pulled Matt Kemp, a few other guys, big names at that time, a couple years ago. And it didn't work out for them. But this time it's different because you're focusing on pitching more so than you are your bats. So they're serious, they're for real, and we'll see what they bring to the table. And if their additions, hold up their end of the bargain, I'm definitely worried about seeing them in the playoffs. Let's not forget that even though we're on paper the best team in baseball, the Braves took us to 7 games and legitimately could have won that series and should have won that series. And the Braves hadn't really made any additions. So I will say they're probably the 3rd best team in the National League.
You said on paper, who's the best team on paper?
The Dodgers.
Okay.
But even though you're the best team on paper, I will still say the Padres, even though they improved, they're still behind the Dodgers and Braves because the Padres haven't proven themselves just yet. But that's a good spot to be in. And we'll see what happens, this season. We get a full 162 games, and I'm here for it. Now, as far as AL, I am going to agree as well that the White Sox did make their moves and the best moves to be winners in this offseason. I think Adam Eaton, I'm curious to see what he does for the White Sox. He's a former Washington National. If he's on, that's a good pickup. And I like how they gave him a contract, and we'll see what he does. But agreeing with Jorge, adding the best closer on the market and, more depth to your starting pitching, good moves. I was a fan of them last season. I wanted them to go to the World Series last year. And I think, give them one more season, but they could pull it off this year and it could be the best team in the AL.
So
let me add one thing before you move on,
mhm.
Jerm. Now I got the Padres up. Now let's not not talk about what the Mets did with Francisco Lindor, because that was huge. Adding a superstar like that, you don't really get a superstar like that many times, and the Mets have done it now. Well, three times, but in my memory, last two times, Lindor and Piazza. And when they did it with Piazza, they wound up going to the World Series. Yeah, they lost, but they wound up going to the World Series, and this may be the piece that takes them there. But they're still missing a couple more pieces, which would be a center fielder and another starting pitcher. If they're able to add that before the offseason's over, they can overtake the Padres as far as the biggest winner in the NL. They just need a couple more pieces. Do they have the money to do it? Yes. Will they do it? Who knows?
Well, here's the thing. I actually wanted to talk about the Mets next because I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on what you think Lindor adds to the lineup, but what also defensively, his game is about as complete as you're going to get from a shortstop. He's probably one of the top three in the game right now, easily. Um, Defensively, what does he add to this baseball team, and then what does he add to the lineup? Ty, let me talk to you about defense because you seem to be, a little defensive about, LA a lot. So I think defense works and serves good for you. So tell me about the defense. Like defensively, what does Lindor add to the Mets?
Well, you add, somebody who should be a Gold Glover, and is in that conversation every season. Not to mention, you combine that with he is a Silver Slugger winner. Definitely somebody who does it on both ends. He just has a nose for the ball. And when you're at such a pivotal position that's, in the action, as far as you have to have not only a good arm, but you have to be able to, move laterally very, very quick, have, the wherewithal to read where and anticipate where the ball can go, as far as being attentive to certain batters and their tendencies to hit balls in certain spots in your area, and communication with your third baseman as well as, second base. So he has it all. He talks really well. He makes sure that, he pays attention to his coach, whether they want him to, play inward a little bit or go a little bit out. He has a lot of range, which you need for a shortstop, because there are some shortstops that are limited defensively. There's a lot of ground to cover, but he always seems to find himself in the right spot. And that's what you want from somebody who plays such an important position, probably the most important position defensively on the field.
Jorge, now you're good at going on the offense because you always, offending other people. So,
Particularly me.
yeah, I mean, you're pretty good at that. But offensively, what do you feel he adds to this Mets lineup? That in a lot of different ways, they could use a guy that can hit in the top four spots of the lineup to help get on base.
Yeah, I mean it's huge, man. I mean, you can put Lindor 1 through 4 anywhere in that lineup. I mean, you may not want to put him 4 just because you have batters like say Pete Alonso or JD Davis or Conforto that can hit more home runs than him, but you're easily looking at a 30-30 guy, easy. And 30 home runs, 30 stolen bases, add 25, or doubles, 4 triples, let's say in a year. It's a huge lift to your lineup. You're talking about your number 3 lineup, your number 3 hitter. If you put Lindor there, batting 5th, that's crazy. that means that fifth guy that you have in your lineup can bat third, and then the other lineup in baseball. That just brings your lineup from here to here. And like I said, and let's not forget, not only did they get Lindor in that trade, they also got Carrasco, which is huge for them because they needed like a third or a fourth guy in their rotation because they don't know what's going to happen with Syndergaard, coming off the surgery. They know what they're going to get out of DeGrom. He's the best pitcher in baseball right now, and we've seen that for the last 5 years.
Shouts out to him because he's been doing some work.
Yeah, and it's about time that they put up either get a superstar on the offensive side of the ball or get him some help in the rotation, and they did both in one trade.
I got you, man. I got you, Jorge. I understand.
That frustration, right?
Yeah, no, because listen, we were all sitting here one day studying, and we were going over some stuff because we call it the lab. We was in the lab together doing some stuff, just some prerequisite stuff. DeGrom's numbers are filthy. Like, I've never seen nothing like this. Like, this is just a model of consistency every single year, and a guy who he doesn't give you much to hit. He's consistent with all 5 Man got 5 pitches. That's different.
Yep.
Like, how are you consistent with everything that you do? The mechanics of everything is consistent. Everything looks the same. You got to just give a guy credit. If the Mets could score runs, this dude may not have lost more than maybe 15 games in his career type energy. And that's just what it is.
And not just get him runs, save him runs. And that's what we're also going to with Lindor. Lindor can save you 2-3 runs, in a month, let's say. And when DeGrom is pitching, that's the difference. How many games did we see when we went through the list that he wound up losing 2-1, 3-1, and we were all like, "What?" Like it doesn't make any sense.
And that's the key though. That's why I asked this question because the Mets, I think, low key, I actually would say I like the Mets move more than the Padres because of what it already means to what they have. Because Lindor adds one thing that you can add for sure, and that's at least 5 runs. Let's just say 5 runs a month. 5 runs a month is the difference between 5 wins in a month for the Mets.
Yeah.
So that's why it becomes interesting for me. But and 5 wins in a month, considering where you at, let's just say you get 3 extra wins every month or whatever the case is. That's the difference between a wild card spot. That's the difference between a wild card spot and maybe even competing for the division. It just is what it is. So you just got to be realistic about it. But I'm not gonna say I'm picking, but I do want to make sure we did cover the Mets because that was huge.
But going back to what you're saying, the wild card and the standings, like what I said with the Padres also goes for the Mets. Even though the Mets have made these moves, I think there's still those 2 pieces away, which is a center fielder and another starting pitcher, which is Bauer or whoever it is, Bradley, that they get to take that number 1 spot over in the division. But as of right now, the Mets still aren't the best team in the division because, like Ty said, the Braves are still there, and the Braves are one win away from going to the World Series. If they didn't choke, they would have been in the World Series. They just choked. Shout outs to Trav, by the way.
Yeah, he was just talking about his Atlanta Braves the other day. Shout out to my guy Trav, the DVR czar as they call him. But I gotta be honest with y'all. Looking forward to this season. Now we got some winners. We have to have some losers. Real quick to tie in the Lindor thing. As a guy who is in Cleveland and done a lot of work in the Cleveland area in the media, things of that nature, Lindor was well loved in Cleveland. So I know this is an organization that just didn't want to pay him. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. I don't really care.
Y'all picked him.
Hey, Ty, say it again. This time, say it with some conviction. Say it with your chest.
2011, the Cleveland Indians selected 8th overall, Francisco Miguel Lindor.
Man, this is crazy, man. and then you just traded him away. Like, who does this?
For what though? For two middle infielders, which one of them last year was the first year in the show. So you have no idea what you're gonna get there. And then Rosario was supposedly gonna be a superstar for the Mets. And Jerem, I'm only going because I know you have your head down. Got Rosario, who was supposed to be a superstar for the Mets, but winded up being an error machine one year. And then that same year he couldn't get a hit.
He said an error machine. See, look, see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Like, y'all don't understand the pain that certain people go through in life with baseball, with all these other things. All of the years that I've had to deal with this nonsense because of my hometown team, bro, I don't want any parts of this. I don't want any parts of this organization no more. I have seen so many good players come and go. So many. And it's like y'all develop these dudes. Y'all got a farm system that works. Pitchers. They had Sabathia, Cliff Lee. Oh my God. What? Are we serious?
Yo, well, they're still young too, Jerem. Like, you forget, Lindor's only 27.
Yeah.
Lindor has about a good 10 years left in his body. He has had no major injuries. Remember, that's a very key thing. No major injuries. He hasn't torn anything. He hasn't done anything bad to his body. Regular day-to-day injuries that you're going to suffer playing baseball. Crazy, man. This is ridiculous. It's annoying. It's
and we got him for some cookies and
Arizona. Literally.
Yeah, Arizona. All right. We go with that.
Stupid.
I said small chocolate milk. You know, not even like, it wasn't Arizona. It was a small little chocolate milk.
The little ones.
Yo. Hey, that's hey, no. We go do strawberry milk because it don't matter. Because whatever the Indians do, it just don't match.
Shout out to Nestle Nesquik.
Hey, German, to go back off of what you were saying about Indians, man, it's crazy because off the last let's go back 15 years, maybe 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
The Cleveland Indians alone can star in the All-Star team with the top players.
Yep.
In almost every position.
Yep. Pretty much.
That's insane.
It's ridiculous. It's stupid. Doesn't make sense. How many? I mean, think about think about the history of this team. For a team to never have won, that had not have won anything since the 50s. Okay, 1950 to be exact. So for a team that hasn't won since that time frame, with all of the talent that we've seen come in and out of this organization, you would think they would have been at least got one. At least one. At least. But what you do is you put together good pitching staffs, and then you don't have good hitting. Then you put together great lineups, but then you don't have the pitching. It's like, okay. Then when you finally put together a good team, you lose after being up 3-1. Then everybody in Cleveland walking around talking about, well, if we're going to lose to anybody, we're going to lose to the clubs. Shut up.
Believe land.
This is why the only people in Cleveland that we recognize, listen, shouts out to Major League. Them is the only Cleveland Indians I will acknowledge is they from Major League. Shout out to Vic Jr., who still ain't seen it.
It's too high to be home run.
Hey, man, listen, it just is what it is. So with that being said, who are the biggest losers? Because I talk about losers to get into losing. So who are the biggest losers this offseason? And you can give me an AL and NL if you guys want, and we can go from there.
Go ahead, Ty. You take this one first.
I'm going to let Ty take this one first because, Ty he over there with all the little clever jokes today.
I'm in my bag. Or as you guys said, luggage. I got the luggage today. So let me go into my luggage. And Eddie Banks is going to hate me for this. But Cubs, you brought this on yourself. Chi-Town, where you out? Like, really, Cubs, what do you want to do? Just blow the whole thing up, start all over. That's where you're at right now. That's it. You gave away someone who was a potential Cy Young, winner, who had a Cy Young caliber season for nothing. You don't bring anybody, in to supplement the talent that you do have. And you're coming off a season where you pretty much play like a mediocre team that you are. Let's just call a spade a spade. So what do you want to do, Cubs? Do you want to win? Do you want to hang around in the postseason to do nothing and have a first-round exit? What do you want to do? Let me know.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a fork. I'm gonna stick this in my left arm right here because I'm done with Ty today.
I'm cooking.
Go ahead, keep going, bro. Keep going, man.
But yeah, I mean, and not to mention, do you have yourself, losing a lot of leverage in the NL? You're losing leverage to the Braves, the Dodgers, the Padres, the Marlins may be on the come up. You're looking like trash to your crosstown rival. The White Sox are getting better. So if I'm a Chi-Town fan, if I'm a Chicago Cubs fan, I'm pulling out my free agency, free agency list, and I'm making the switch and taking my money and my talents and my energy to the White Sox. I'm going over there. We don't want to be around here no more. We don't want to go to Wrigley Field no more.
Who is your AL winner? AL loser, excuse me.
So for AL loser, I have to say the A's. That was going to be, my loser as soon as I knew. We knew from the beginning that Hendricks was probably going to sign somewhere else, but the A's, needed, to retain him. They need to keep top tier talent instead of, sending it away. Small market teams can't get anywhere deep into the playoffs unless you keep top tier talent. So A's, holding that L for the AL. Cleveland, you came close though. Cleveland, you really came close.
Hey man, shot real quick before we get to Jorge. Shout out to everybody in the comments. We got Mo in the comments, fellas. We got Jay Ham. He says yo, and he also says Vic don't know these Indians. World Series champ Ty. Acknowledged. And then we got our guy, Big Shot Ron, my guy. He says, shout out to Willie Mae Hayes. And then he says, Ty got smoke. And yeah, you do got some smoke today, boy. I tell you. I'm going to keep this fork nearby because I feel like this is not going to be the last time that I'm done. But when you said the small chocolate milk, I just want you to know that needs to be a clip. Jorge, I just want to know, who are your losers, AL, NL, and what you got for us otherwise?
As far as NL goes, I'm going to say this team because they've had pitching for a while. And right now, their starting rotation is becoming a question mark after the first two starters. And they have some aging players. I'm going to go with the Brewers. Maybe a surprise to some people, but Lorenzo Cain, he's aging. And he's not who he was once before. Who's going to play first base? Who's going to play shortstop? Is Urias the answer at third? Is he going to hit for enough pop to stay at third? And we all know what we're going to get at a Yelich. I mean, Yelich is just an MVP type player, but who's going to help him?
That last season.
Huh?
Yelich wasn't that last season, though.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that was a short season. Let's just say what it is. But Yelich, other than that, he's going to be Yelich. And then not only that, but they're starting rotation. You have Adrian House, who's a question mark at best. And then you have Lindblom that they signed to be their third or fourth starter. And, is he going to hold up? I mean, yeah, their bullpen is what it is. That's their best part of their entire team. But how long can you rely on the bullpen to get you through? And then if you do get into the bullpen and you lose a lead, who's going to get that lead back for you in the lineup? How many runs are you going to score a game with that lineup? I don't see it happening with them.
So who is your AL loser?
I'm going to go with two teams that have been in the playoffs constantly the last 4 years, and they've met twice in ALCSs, and then why have they not done more? First, the Astros. They've made the last four ALCS, and they won it all in 2017. And they went ahead and lost almost two key pieces, about to lose two key pieces, but one of them re-signed last minute before he went to the team that the other guy went to. They lost George Springer to the Blue Jays, and then they almost lost Brantley on the same day to the Blue Jays, but the Stros got on the phone and say, "Hey, nah, that ain't happening. Come back." So what are they doing? We may not see the Stros in the ALCS or past the division series anymore.
Sign me up for that.
I mean,
here's the thing. This is the thing that I'll say about this. If you just keep the pieces that you have now, I think they're always going to compete because they're hitting son of a guns. In basketball, you got that team that's like the Spurs, and they're just basket making son of a guns, shot making people, as Jay Ham would say. And then in football, you got that team that just always there consistently, that just always moves the ball. That's like a Tom Brady team. For some reason, they just always find a way to move the ball against whatever defense. So what you have to understand is the Astros are in that area where they're just a hitting club. They're going to get 9-10 hits. Are they going to result in runs? That's going to be the key.
There you go.
Because they don't have the power in the lineup. When that little midget is the only thing you got that's hitting home runs, that's a problem. That's a problem. Fix it.
Man, but you have a point there, and let's go back to that. In the ALCS, which they lost to Tampa Bay, Altuve was their best and worst player at the same time.
How?
How was that? Like that was like me and Ty and all of us when we were watching the games, we were like, okay, they're gonna win this game if Altuve doesn't make an error. What does Altuve do? He happens to make a throwing error. Or
let me tell you something. Altuve by himself put the Stros out of the ALCS.
Yeah,
it do be facts though.
And I mean,
just a little giggle, huh, Ty? Just a little giggle.
So back to what the Stros is. So what did they do to counter losing George Springer? You traded for a catcher named Luke Berryhill from Cincinnati. Come on, who is that? Like, what are y'all doing? And then my other team is from the AL, and the reason why I picked two is because I couldn't choose one or the other. Is the Yankees. The Yankees are this close to making the World Series. And 2 out of the last 4 years, they've been eliminated by the Stros in the ALCS. And what did they do? They lost a starting pitcher that's been good for them while they need pitching. So what are they doing? They're going backwards. They lost Tanaka, which he may wind up signing with them. I don't know. But he's saying he may go to Japan. So if he goes, who are they going to sign? Yeah, they just signed Kluber to a 1 year, like $11 million contract. But what are you going to get from him? You have no idea. It's like a gimme contract. Let me see.
Some people like the Kluber deal. So Ty, let's just try this real quick. Ty, do you like Corey Kluber at this stage in his career, just to see what you get from him if you're the Yankees?
I was surprised the Yankees didn't give him multiple years. Like, I thought it was a good, solid pickup. I mean, yeah, Kluber is, on the other side of his career, may not be as great as he once was, but you still have somebody who's a Cy Young guy. So I thought it was.
Where'd he come from? The Indians. Bamba.
I knew you were going to bring that up, Jeremy. I knew you were going to bring that up. But I thought it was a good move, a rare move for the Yankees. As you know, usually they give contracts to older guys for like 5 years, 6 years, and overpay them. The Yankees are like being smart with that move financially, and hopefully it gives Kluber incentive enough to come hard because, he doesn't have to be the main guy. We know Cole is the guy, but he has to be solid. And I think it was a good contract to, encourage for him to be solid. So I'm not going to, say the Yankees, are losing out. They'll still be in the conversation as far as one of the powerful teams in the American League. What I will say before we pass it back to, Jorge, or if Jeremy, you want to chime in, whether you want to say Astros, Germstros, to me, they are ashtray and trashtros. Burn it. I don't want to see them in the ALCS. I don't want to see them in the postseason. I just want to see them struggle. Give me
Todd,
that.
don't
and I'm a
forget who
happy
got
man.
control. Don't forget who got control of the live. Here.
Mute
I will
me if you
mute
have to. It was worth it. I took my shot. I'm out. Pin drop.
well.
He said no F's given.
Yeah. Then he really dropped a pin. But I think the big thing here is, first of all, and Jorge, I do agree with you because we don't know what we're gonna get from Kluber at this stage. At this stage of his career, because the Indians wore off all of the good miles that dude had, with him being the number one. But let me be real with you. Kluber to me was never a number one pitcher. I always thought he was the second or third best guy in a rotation. And I always thought that. That's not saying he wasn't good. It's just saying that if he's your number two, that means you have a good pitching staff. If he's number three, you have a great pitching staff. If he's your best guy, come here. We got to have a conversation. And that's what we kind of got from the Indians. But I can say the same thing about Carrasco. I can say the same thing about him. I mean, hell, Danny Salazar was what, fourth, fifth, and he was a high-ranked prospect that came up from Cleveland as well. I went back a little bit just to show you the extensive knowledge of some of these pitchers that you've had that just been rotten. Like, what have you done? You've wasted good pitchers. You're wasted number two pitchers because you couldn't get an ace or you traded away your ace. So, with that being said, Jorge, I really wanted to talk about that because I didn't want to skip over the fact that Kluber is at the back end of his career, and 1 year and $11 million is cool. But let's say he has a great year this year. Let's say he pitches let's say he turns back the hands of time one time for us. Is that going to mean that the Yankees are going to bring him back for a multi-year deal? And you all know, in the words of Jill Scott, they be chasing fool's gold. They be chasing fool's gold.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, and going to what you said, all right, you're giving a guy a 1 year contract based off of what he can do or what he may do. And if he winds up doing it, the reason why he pitched that is because he wanted a contract. Okay, you're going to give him a multi-year deal and then he becomes a bust.
It becomes a big debacle.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
the Yankees like to do.
That's what the Yankees have been doing. They have been doing that. But let me compare to what we were just talking about with DeGrom. Cole may wind up having the same type of career DeGrom has had until this point with the Yankees if the Yankees don't give him more help in the rotation. And if they don't do that, Cole is going to be like, why the hell did I sign here?
The money.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. But other than that, he's not going to get no ring.
And what is wrong with him today? So shout out to the comments real quick. We got Trav in the comments. He says, we're going to get right back at it again, Braves, with the 100 sign. And also Artie in the comments as well. Artie says Tampa, Tampa, Tampa. So I think he's saying Tampa as far as disappointing. And then Trav followed up and said Tampa ain't going back. They pitching is gone. He said, he didn't say that when that midget get on fire though, and that's the truth. Because when my midget get on fire, it be emotional. And then Artie says Houston starting would be good. And then Trav, of course, said yikes after that slander of Tyrell over there.
I'll give Trav some more slander. Y'all don't sign it sooner, y'all in trouble, Trav. Make that deal happen. Like if you have to go down to Atlanta and incentivize, add something like you're gonna get that man some good food or hook him up with something. Y'all don't sign him sooner, y'all in trouble. Make that happen, Trav.
Man, you see this energy he got? That's what a World Series do, huh? Okay.
That and being off 3 months, I guess, got him like that.
I see. Well, I want to see where this energy, see if this energy sustains when they don't repeat. How about that?
Because remember the asterisk is still there.
No, it's not. Champion.
Oh, it is.
Champion. It's not there.
Hey, look.
I'm blind to the asterisk. I can't see you, asterisk. Where you at? I don't see you.
Oh man, this dude, man. Trav said they're gonna make that happen. So I'm gonna trust my guy Trav. Again, shouts out to anybody in the comments who didn't make a comment or whatever the case is. We appreciate you watching. Just make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Please, 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 we would appreciate you. Artie also says the Nationals back on top. So
Ooh.
let's talk about that real quick, and then we're gonna get ready to wrap it up. So Ty, I'm listening.
Okay. I want to get Young Swiss to make a guest appearance on the show. We're gonna have to talk about that one. That was it's risky. I like it, but you got the Braves, you got the Marlins, who we don't know what is going to happen with the Marlins, and you never know. The Phillies could, make a surprise appearance, depending. So the NL East is a very intriguing division. To flat out say that the Nationals, are going to pull off LL Cool J. Mama said, knock you out, LL Cool J. Don't call it a comeback. They ain't been here for years. So, they had, a good year, one good run. Salute them. They were champions. They knocked out my Dodgers. But nah.
They hard.
I like how Ty just mentioned all of the NL East except the Mets. Huh. He didn't even say nothing about the Mets. He's just like,
what do you want me to do?
I mean, we know what I think is funny here. I think it's real funny that he's throwing. Some people throw shade. This man throwing trees.
For real.
Yeah. So relax. Listen, relax. Asterisk. Relax. Relax. Hey, 60 games. Relax.
This is built up aggression. This is built up over 31 years of me living being a Dodger. This is built up aggression.
Man, you letting it all out on one show, man. Hold that in a little bit.
So Jorge, what do you think about Artie's comment? Nationals back on top.
I mean, they made their run, man. I don't see it. Not with what the Mets and the Braves got going on. They got one of the best players in baseball in Soto, but last year they were hurt, they were banged up, but they don't have the depth and they don't have the team that the Braves and the Mets now have. Soto's gonna need some help. They still have their starting pitchers, but I think they're gonna need some bullpen help and also some help for Soto. I don't see them doing it. They're probably the third best team right now. Maybe even the fourth behind. Well, no, the third best team. Philly's horrible.
So I have a fun question. I'm gonna say. He says Max and Steven. He talking about first take, huh? Anyway, but what that being said, I have a fun question to close the show with. If you are blank which organization? So if you are blank, who and what do you give up to get Mike Trout in your organization to get you over the hump?
Ooh.
I was going to listen, y'all going to work.
Ouch.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I see.
I'll tell you, I came up with the answer.
Okay.
If I'm the New York Mets, because we need a center fielder, I give up Dominic Smith because we already have Alonso at first. There's no clear-cut DH thing going on in the NL. Mm-hmm. I give up Syndergaard, which is our second or third best pitcher because now we have Stroman, for Mike Trout and maybe a prospect. That's who I would give up. I mean, we're probably going to need to give up 2 or 3 prospects, but if you have the chance to get them,
does that get you over the hump?
Yeah.
Does that make you the best team in your division?
Yeah.
Does that make you the top 2 team in the NL?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Depends. It all depends. So realistically, the only team I could say make that trade happen and risk it all, like literally risk it all, The Padres. If the Padres pulled it off to where they could get somebody like Trout, who's still relatively young, 29, and make that happen, I'll respect you. I mean, I already do respect you, but I'm going to sweat profusely. Right now, I have beads of sweat for the Padres. Like, I can dab it and, I can hide it well. But you get Trout, and I'm drenched.
So that's
Artie says, he says, all my foreign pop money, my AA and my AAA team.
Man, wait, Artie's a Brewers fan, right?
Yeah, and that's
Artie,
why he
that
goes to the
includes
Nationals, because he knows the Brewers don't have shit. So he's not leveraged. But he thinks Josh Bell is going to be like an MVP over for the Nationals. I see what you're doing, young Swiss. I see you.
Man, he played on the Padres and he was just their best player. The Pirates don't have nothing.
Hey, y'all know that little gif where the cat be like, that's what I'm doing right there. What? And dude, look, the shade that Ty has thrown all show has been remarkable. I just want you to know.
I'm here. I'm back. Shout out to Chef Curry.
Oh, okay. I got you. So as we get ready to wrap up the show, I wanted to throw that fun question in there because I don't think the Angels are ever going to be good as long as Mike Trout is a part of the organization. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Rally monkeys aren't going to save y'all.
And I mean, they're gonna. I think
Big shot. You ain't lying.
Man.
It's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you something. It's gonna cost you. He said, in the word of Thanos, to get Trout, it will cost you everything.
You gotta strip butt naked.
I mean, hey, man. And then Artie said he also will trade the Ohio State University for him too. So
just throw him in.
Yeah, just throw him in. I mean, that's a tie shot. Good job, Artie. Keep throwing shades in the comments. I
want to ask him: is he gonna trade that guy that comes down the slide every time a Brewer hits a home run? Will he be included in the
trade? All right. So I see it's time to end the show. So final thoughts. I'm gonna start with you, Jorge. Final thoughts.
Man, I'm just happy as hell to be back. Gonna bring more shows to you guys this offseason. Hopefully we get a couple big trades or other signings that we need to talk about and, throw a live real quick. But Ty, it's awesome to see you, man, and get on here with you as always, and congrats that they won the championship. But there you go.
Ty, what you got?
Final thoughts. I'm happy that we're going to get a full 162 game season. Just to players, fans alike, be safe out there, be smart. I know that they're allowing fans in a limited capacity. If you think it's worth it to go to the ballpark because it's on your bucket list, make it happen, but be smart and be safe about it. Players, if you're going to be traveling, be safe and be smart about it. Like, COVID-19 is no joke. We love the game, but it doesn't mean anything if there aren't players to play. So be safe. That's my final thought. Let's play ball.
And with that being said, this has been another edition of The Dish live on the scene. Germ So True here, reporting live with the fellas. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Scene_the on Twitter, and make sure you check out the Instagram, the.scene. That's again IG. Make sure you guys are subscribed. We got all of the notifications. Put your notifications on. You never know when we all go live. We get all of the latest news, just like everybody else. We give y'all everything y'all need. We got a show coming up later. Make sure you guys are checking this show out. We got the NFC Championship game preview live tonight with me, Mo Schefter, Vic Jr. We're going to be talking about all of the little different things that we got going on in this A-Rod Tom Brady matchup. And the defense versus the offense and all that great stuff. Make sure you guys tune in for that. But without all of that being said, make sure you guys continue to check the scene out because keep peeping this scene. It's a lot going on.